Hey friends, welcome to webscript.info. My name is Rizwan Khan and today we are going to build a real-time chat application just like Facebook Messenger with the feature of texting and sharing images. So we are going to use socket.io library for real-time event-based and bidirectional communication. Now we are going to see the demo of our application. As you can see on my screen, I have two different browser windows for two different users. We can create more users definitely. First thing, we need to do the authentication. For that, I'm only taking the username. You can create a complete authentication system by using username, email, or passwords. I have a couple of videos about that with different projects. You can follow that, or you can find the link in the description. So let's first create our users. So here I'm gonna say Rizwan, and as you can see, there is no users right now. No online users are available. So let's create one more user. Let's say her name is Anna, and now I can see a different user in my window list. Right, Anna is a user just logged in, and Anna also can see me, Rizwan. Right, so these two users are available to chat with each other. I can select the users I want to chat with her. So here the selected users, and I can also close this window. Now clicks on select the user and send a message hi, and here you can see send the message, and Anna got a notification from me from the Rizwan. That's a one message, right? Now let's send another message, hello, and you can see it's a two notifications, right? Let's open and see the message from Anna from Rizwan, right? Okay, so here hi, hello, I can say Anna can say hello, how are you? And I will reply, I'm good, how are you? She will reply, I'm fine, thank you. We can also share the images. Now let's share something. Okay, so we have an attachment over here. Just click on that and select an image. These are the couple of users. No, don't forget downloads. Let's share this image and say open, and the attachment selected. Now you can send the image. So you can see the image shared on both sides. So this is Rizwan shared an image from you can see the messages of me appearing on the right side, and on the and over this window you can see that the same message is appearing on the right side, right? So this is a message we can share. We can share more messages. Oh, nice image, and we got the message. So this whole thing is working on the top of WebSocket, and we are using socket.io library, right? So before I start jump on the coding, I will just give you a little bit of clarification like how WebSocket works and what is socket.io. So let's jump on it. Just now we have seen the example of our chat application. This is what we are going to implement, but before that we need to understand how it works and what are the requirements. And feel free to skip if you are well aware of socket.io library, WebSocket API, and how HTTP protocol and WebSocket protocol works. But if you're not familiar with that, then just stay connected. So here I'm going to explain for this chat application. This is a real-time chat application, and for that we need a library. That's a socket.io library, right? And my handwriting is kind of not very good, but do not worry. I will try to explain. So we need socket.io library. This library enables like bidirectional event-based communication between client and server. This library is no magic at all. The magic is hidden inside WebSocket Protocol, WebSocket API, the browser WebSocket API. This library is just a wrapper around the browser WebSocket API, and this is already available in your browser, so you don't even need to use socket.io library. You can just use a raw WebSocket API to create the connection between client and server. But this library does all the hard work and simplifies our work and helps to focus more on the work, right? So you can just see whatever the browser API you want to see. You can just go to the browser and just type the name of the API you want to see, and you can see that. So WebSocket, and you can see this is a function, and rest of the implementation is like native code, so that is abstracted, not exposed to the browser. But you can create the object of WebSocket, and you can create a connection between client and server, a real-time connection, right? So yeah, this is what. So without socket.io also you can do all the WebSocket stuff. You can create the WebSocket connection, but this library simplifies our work. That's why we are using it. For user interface, we are going to use React application, and this is kind of requirement. Without this, you can't go ahead. So you can, if you are not familiar with the React, then you can watch my other basic fundamental videos of React. Okay, so let's again continue. To understand WebSocket, we need to understand how HTTP works, right? So both WebSocket and HTTP are communication protocol, right? This is kind of thing we need to know. So these two are communication protocol, and how it works. So it works in a very simple way, and how it is different from each other, we're gonna just see. Now we are going to see how it works. Now let's imagine there is a server, right? So this is our server, and we have a client, right? Client is nothing but the browser, right? Your browser is the client. Now for the general HTTP communication, what is going to happen? Let's say client wants to get some data from the server, then client will make a request, right? So client will make the request, then server will establish a connection between client and server, and client will wait for the response. So server will send the response back to the client, right? Once client receive the response completely, then connection between client and server will be terminated, right? There is no more connection. It is terminated. Now if you want to browse more, then you are going to send the request again, right? And then server will respond back. Once you receive the response completely, then the connection will be terminated between client and server, right? This is how general HTTP works, and this is absolutely fine for a normal applications, right? As long as you don't want a real-time communication. So it is like that. If you send 100 requests, then 100 times connection will be established between client and server, then 100 times connection will be closed, right? This is how general HTTP protocol works. Now let's see how the WebSocket protocol works. So the WebSocket protocol is kind of different from HTTP, and the use of it is mostly in real-time communication system or gaming application and cricket, and these types of wherever the live data needs to be displayed, the WebSocket can be very useful thing. Okay, so how it works, let me show you. Imagine this is a server, right? So this is a server, and again we are going to have a client, and we want to establish a WebSocket connection between client and server. So first it will initiate the connection. So to initiate the connection, it will send a request. That is going to be a normal HTTP request, right? You can consider it as an HTTP request, right? So server will verify the request and will identify it. This is a request to initiate the WebSocket connection, right? So server will do the handshake, right? During the handshake, it will upgrade the connection from HTTP to the WebSocket, right? So it will do handshake between client and server, and you can say upgrade of the connection, like from HTTP to the WebSocket. So it will upgrade the connection from HTTP to WebSocket. Now the connection between client and server will be alive, right? This is never going to be terminated. This connection will always stay forever alive as long as the client and server alive. Once you kill the browser or like server, any one of them, then only the connection between client and server will be terminated. Otherwise it will stay forever. Both the client server can communicate with each other. That's why it is also called bidirectional communication, because during the communication, the connection between client and server will always open. There is no termination. But on the other hand, the connection between client and server will be closed after every successful response, right? So this is how it is different from general HTTP. Now we can start our coding part. Now we can start working on our application. We know the working principle of socket.io library and WebSocket protocol. So let's start first creating with the socket server, right? So okay, let's open the browser, and it's very easy to create a socket server. Let me show you how you can create a socket server with the help of socket.io library, right? To establish a connection between client and server, we'll say socket.io, hit enter, and the documentation is pretty easy. Also, you can find a couple of working examples in the demo in the documentation itself, right? So let me show you what are the examples also available. Oh, that's this documentation. Get started. So here you can find some application. You can write a simple chat application, right? You can do a CRUD project, and also there is a private chat system. So this is what we are going to build in this video. We are going to build a private communication system, right? One-on-one chat system. And let's go to the documentation, and here you can find the documentation, right? So as I told you, this is a library that enables real-time bidirectional event-based communication, right? You'll get to know what's event-based communication if you're not getting it, right? And it requires a node.js server, and it requires a JavaScript client-side socket library, or that's fine. So here you can see it's a bidirectional thing, a browser, Node.js client, and a Node.js server, then you're good to go. So it is available in different languages as well. And this is the raw WebSocket example. So this is an example without socket.io library. You just need to create a WebSocket object. You have to pass the connection URL, means your server URL, that is generally like localhost some your port, right? You can store it in a variable, and then you can use the function like socket.onOpen, that's from this WebSocket, right? And on message. So this is the raw example of WebSocket, and this is the example of socket.io library, right? Both are same, but it has so many additional features, and that is going to help us a lot to build our real-time chat application, right? So yeah, let's do it. And let's see the server installation part, what we need to do. So here we need to install a socket.io library. That's all we need to do. Now server installation, server initialization. So here's we need a HTTP server, and this is the basic example, right? And we need to import the server, and then we need to use HTTP module to create the server, and also we need to use the socket.io, right? And then obviously we want to establish a connection, so we have to import this one as well, pass our HTTP server, and this is the configuration object, and we will definitely use that one too. And this is the piece of code where we can start listening to the clients, whoever will connect to our server, right? Clear? Pretty clear? So there are a couple of examples in different, so this is common JS, common JavaScript, ES module, right? And TypeScript version of the same example, standalone. Without using HTTP server, you can also use this library socket.io directly, and IO will listen to the some port. You can see IO will listen. So IO also has a capacity to listen, but I'm planning to use Express, right? So if we want to do anything else apart from just listening to the client, definitely Express will be very helpful. So here is the example with Express, right? This is example with Express. So it's a very simple, just need to import the Express, initialize your Express app. Again, we need to create the HTTP server, and we need to pass our Express app, and that's it. Then HTTP server will listen to the port 3000. So this piece of code is required. Let's copy this. Oh, before that, let's create the project, right? We'll do that. So here we're gonna say git bash. YouTube project, and I'm gonna create a directory, socket server. Here is the directory. Now let's navigate to the socket server. Now let's initialize a project with the help of npm. We'll say npm init hyphen yes. So it's a answer yes to all the question npm is gonna ask you. Okay, cool. So we'll say code dot. So here is our socket server with package.json file. This is all what we need to do to create our socket server. Let's create a file. We're gonna say server.js. So this is our server.js file, and to create our socket server, and we need to install some libraries, right? So we're gonna install over here, say npm install -f save. We need to install socket.io and Express. Now let's copy this code and paste in your browser. Oh, sorry, server file. So yeah, cool. So here we have our Express app, we have distributed server, we have options. This is gonna be useful. We are gonna use it, but right now this is not the requirement. Okay, and here we'll listen to the clients. So we'll say simply, if some client will connect, we are gonna listen to that client. We'll say something like someone connected and socket ID will be socket.id. See, and this is listening on 3000, so I don't want, because I want to run my front-end application on the same port. So here it is going to be, let's say 6000, and let's hardcode the code. Const port equals to 6000, and here we're gonna say port comma console not server listening on port. Okay, and here it needs to be an arrow symbol. Now we can start our server, right? So for that we also need to install node.js, right? Let's go and say npm install -c -dev node.js, and let's go to your package.json file, and let's remove this test case. We'll say over here start and node.js, name of the file server.js. Save this. Okay, now node.js is installed, so we can start our server. So here we're gonna say npm start, and voila, now here it is working. So server listening on port 6000, and you can check with the help of Express if you want. So yeah, we'll do that. App dot, let's say get console.log. Oh no, that's not what I want to say. You can simply give it a request comma response. This is the advantage of using Express instead of HTTP some other server, right? So I kind of like, we are well familiar with that. So we'll say response.status 200.json, and here we can say name equals to server, whatever. Save, and let's go to the browser here over and say what is this, localhost, and 6000. Okay, somehow it is not working on port 6000, so I'm gonna change the port, and instead of 6000 we'll say 7000, and let's save this thing, and let's go to the terminal, and now it is running on port 7000. Let's go and check again here. Okay, let's update this, and it's working. So happy to see this finally, but kind of this is also not the requirement. We were just checking like our server is working, like both Express as well as the socket, right? So we can start listening to this connection, but before that we also need to create the front end of our application, right? So for that we are going to use React, and here you can see over here we'll say cd documents YouTube ls. So to create a React project, you just have to type npx create hyphen react hyphen app and name of your project. So it is going to be react hyphen chat hyphen app, and just hit enter. So it will create a React project, complete React project for you. But I already have a complete React project I've already created just to save a little bit of time. So I'm gonna jump on that and we'll say cd react chat app. This is our React project, right? So we'll say code dot and hit enter. So this is our app.js file, and okay, so let's run this application also. So we're gonna say npm start. So our front-end application is running on port 3000. Let's open that, and here we're gonna say localhost 3000, and here it is. So we can start editing our front-end application. Right now here our front-end application is running. We need to install a client-side socket library because we are using two different applications, one for the front end and one for the back end. And if you run both of your applications on the same server on the same port, then definitely you don't need to install client-side library. Your socket IO will be enough. But here I'm using two different applications that are running on two different ports, so obviously we need to install a client-side library also. So here we go and say view terminal, and here we'll type npm install hyphen save socket.io hyphen client, socket.io hyphen client, hit enter and let it install. So while it is installing, let's start our simple work. Here we're gonna say import, and we'll say IO from we'll say socket.io hyphen client. Right now we can create a socket object in the front end, socket equals to IO, and we'll pass. As I told you, this I'm running my applications on different ports, so basically on different server. If it is running on the same server, then you don't have to pass any argument over here. But if your server is running on different application or different domain or different port, then you have to pass the domain of it. So my backend application is running on http localhost 7000, right? So here my server is running. You can also type over here ws, that is also going to work absolutely fine, and http will also work absolutely fine. Let's save this, and this is our socket. So this IO will so this is now a client, and when we will reload this, we can see in the terminal here the some socket will, where is all this? Yeah, so here we can see someone will connect, right? We are logging that information, so you can see over here server.js, and here we are logging console.log someone connected and the socket ID of that person. So let's reload our front-end application, and we can see that module not resolved, so I guess not installed. View and terminal, kind of like big library. So here I did a mistake. Let me quit the installation so you can understand what's my mistake. I've used this command like npm I have installed, but the thing is here I have automatically my project got installed with the help of yarn. So I have yarn.log file. I cannot use npm to install the library. I have to use yarn, right? So we'll say yarn add, and we'll say socket.io hyphen client, hit enter, and let's see. So finally my socket.io hyphen client installed. You can verify in the package.json file. So here you can see where's the dependencies. So here is our socket.io client library. Now we are ready to use this one. Okay, let's go to the app.js file, and it is not a default export, so we have to wrap this thing in the curly braces, save, and now we are ready to use this. So this IO function will be called, and then our server is already ready to listen to any client right now. So here it will listen to the client. Let's try this simple connection, right? So let's go and open the browser, and here we're gonna say 3000, and yeah, that's already connected. So let's go to the terminal, and here it is, just 7000. So let's go and inspect and console, and you can see there is some problem, and it's a course issue. So it's a very famous problem. Access to XML HTTP request, and this is the URL that's trying to access socket.io. You can see the library, and no access control origin header is print on the requested resource. So let's fix this problem. In case of socket, how we can fix this problem? Let's go to the server side, and server instance, no, not that, the one, initialization, fine. So here we are going to copy this course, right? This way we can fix our course issue, right? So we are going to pass the second argument here, that is the option we just commented over here. So this line kind of not required. We are directly going to pass an object over here and specify. So you want to individually allow some of the URLs, or you want to allow everything. So for now I just want to allow all of them, so we'll simply say asterisk. So kind of like it will allow all of them, and allow headers. Let's remove this, and methods is going to be, here we're going to say methods basically allow the get and post, and save this, and now let's try. So let's go back and let's reload, and fine, it's working. Socket is assigned a value, that's fine, that's a warning. And here you can go to the network tab, and you can see a socket connection initialize. Go to the header, and you can see WS. So this is the connection established successfully. Now we are connected to the server. You can also see in the client side, in the server side terminal, that's over here. So you can see someone connected, and the socket ID of that is, so right now the two browser is connected. Let's create more, and you're gonna see that one as well. So we'll say localhost 3000, and now you're gonna see over here. So here you can see a new client also connected. Like this we can allow many clients to connect, right? You can just go plus and see localhost 3000. So this is the client, and just check in your terminal. Again, the fourth client is also connected, right? So we have to handle few things. So this is how a client is getting connected, right? So we have to find a way also to disconnect a client. Okay, now we have to also notice when someone will disconnect, right? For example, if this one will disconnect, how we're gonna check that someone got disconnected, right? So on disconnect, we are going to listen to that, right? If someone will get disconnect. So for that we're gonna write code over here. So this is our server side code. So here io.onConnection will listen to all the clients whoever will connect, right? And will log the socket ID of that client, right? Now we are going to listen to the clients. If that particular client will disconnect, then we will listen to that also with the help of socket object. So we are getting a socket object over here that's related to the client. We'll say socket.on, and as I told you, the socket library, this IO is totally event based. So here the event will be disconnect, right? On disconnect will run a function again. Here you can see, and you can say console.log, and we'll say what's that? We can log the details like a dollar. Here say socket.id disconnected, right? So we'll log this one. Now let's see, let's open the terminal, and here you see now only the two connection is alive. Let's close this connection as well, and you can see this socket ID disconnected, right? Also you can see if we'll close this one as well. If you're gonna close this, and you're gonna see this again, one more connection got disconnected. So this is how we can track if someone will connect and someone will disconnect, right? So we have established a connection between client and server. We are listening to each other, right? Now we will start working on the front end side, so we can create a beautiful application, right? So here what we're gonna do, so let's remove this inside stuff we don't require over here. We'll remove this and we'll save this. And also we already have some CSS to create a beautiful user interface, so we can save our time, right? So we'll say webscript.info, and here you can see typer, yeah. So you can find this post, you can find the link in description of this video. And here what we need this CSS code to create our user interface, right? So you just copy things over here. So this is CSS for app.css file, right? So let's go over here, not here. Let's go to the app.css file. Now let's remove everything and paste and save. So this much CSS I have already created. And let's go to the index.css file and again go to the post, and let's copy this, right? This is the code of index.css file, right? Now let's go and paste over here. So let's remove this stuff from here, paste over here, save. Also let's go to the app.js file and remove this logo, right, which is not required. Save. Now let's go to the application. Okay, let's launch localhost 3000, and this is just a background color that's kind of looks like yellow. And let's place our code now. So inside this we're gonna write our code. So we'll say first we need to create a header, so we'll say header, and inside this header we're going to have an image, right? And just after the image we're going to have a div with the name of the application, that is going to be my chat. Save this, right? And this is going to have a class name that is going to be chat hyphen app hyphen header, and this is going to have a logo. Let's save this, and here you go, my chat is coming in the middle, right? So we have to do some we have to add some classes over here. Say class name, that is going to be app hyphen name, the bold 500, so the font weight will be 500, and then primary color. Let's save this, and here is gonna look like this. Now also we need a Google font, so we are gonna add a Google font also, that is okay. So the Google font is going to be Kohu. So here it is public and index.html, and let's add the font link. The font name is Kohu, and the weights are 200, 300, 4, 5, 6, 7 till 700, right? Now just give it a title, my chat. Save this, and now let's check over here. Let's close this, and yeah, so we're getting my chat in the center. Now we need a logo also, right? So we are gonna get the logo also, and here we're going to say src reveal in file explorer, right? And let's open the src, let's paste the stuff. So here we have two folders. First one is the assets. There we have different images. So this one is for logo, and then we have an image, and then send icon, paperclip, that's for the attachment, and the cancel to close the window, right? And again we have one more folder I have used, so that's a users. So this is for different users, so I'm gonna just choose a random users whenever someone create a user, right? That's like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Let's close this, and let's go to the app.js again, and here we're gonna say src equals to, now we have to import the logo. Let's say import logo from, and this is going to be assets, and inside the assets we have chat.png, right? save this. You can find over here, that's chat.png. Okay, so chat.png. Let's close this and let's go to the app.js. You can find all of these icons from flaticon.com, right? Let's say all is going to be empty. Save this and cool. So let's save and let's see the output how it is looking. So my chat is ready, right? Now we are going to split our UIs into three different sections, right? So first we'll say div, and this is going to have a class name that is going to be chat-system, and inside that we are going to have another div that is going to the class name equals to chat-box, right? And inside that we are going to have three different windows, so three different steps basically. Step 1, what is that? Ask user name for or email, whatever you feel comfortable to write. So ask username, and then the second step is going to be step 2. So for the step 1 we'll ask the username, right? And for the step 2 we will select the user, right? Show all available users, right? And once all the available users will be listed, then we are gonna write the step 3, that is going to be, so in the step 3 we'll select a particular user, right? Select user and switch to chat window, right? So these are the 3 steps we are going to perform in our application, right? So what we have right now, nothing. So in the step 1 we will ask the username, right? For that we need a form, so we'll add a form also. Here we're gonna say class, this is our class for the CSS, that's the username hyphen container, and inside that we are gonna write a form username container. We'll save this and see the output of it. So this is how it looks, username container, right? And inside this we need a form, so we can ask the user, right? We'll say form. Inside the form I will write an input, and here it is. We'll give it a class like class name equals to input, and that's all. Form, and the form is also required display inline block property, so it will stay style display inline block. Let's go and see, we have a form over here. Now we need some label also, so we're gonna say h4 and here we are gonna say enter username, right? Enter username, and this is how it looks. So obviously we're going to have some class, so we can avoid the external padding and default margin from h4. Say class name equals to username hyphen label, right? And this looks right now this. So when someone will enter the username and hit enter, then it will go to the step 2. There will show all the online users. So let's go to the step 2, and before that we'll write a state level variables. So we'll say const, and we'll say step set step, right? Use state, and the default state is going to be 0. Save this, and this is we are going to show on the step 1. We'll say step 1, then we'll show this one. Otherwise it's going to be null. Let's save this. Now if someone will hit enter, let's say on submit, here we're going to write a function like on create user, on create user. So here we'll create the user, and let me write the function as well. We'll say const on create user, and it will take nothing, but we'll just increment the step. So we'll say set step, and the previous step we are gonna get the previous step, and we'll say previous step plus 1. So it will simply increase the value by 1. Now so step will become 2. Now we are in the step 2. So here we'll say step if step 2, or sorry, it's kind of like step 0 or 1 something, step 0 and then step 1, then we are going to show a user online users list, right? So this is kind of like otherwise it is going to be null. So here we'll say div, and inside that we'll write a class div, and we'll say class name equals to online hyphen users hyphen header, and inside this we'll say div, and here we'll say online users. Save this. Now let's try this out. Here we'll say res1, hit enter, and it's working, online users, right? Let's go and let's give it some spacing and margin. So we'll say style equals to margin, and here it is going to be 0, 10 pixel. Save this, and it looks great, nice. Now we will create some dummy users, right? So let's go and create. So here is the step 1, right? Inside that we're gonna create some dummy users. Say div, and by mistake instead of div I have given over here a div. That's wrong, so that's going to be div div, and here we have another div. Inside that instead of div let's write ul, right? So it's like a list of users. Let's give it a class name equals to users hyphen list, and inside that we will show all the list. So li, and inside that let's take a span, and within the span we will show the name of the user, like the person I'm talking to, and inside that yeah, that's cool. So that's the person I'm talking to, and also one more span to show the count of the message if she has some new messages, let's say 3. And so here we're gonna say class name equals to new hyphen message hyphen count, and for the li we're gonna say over here span. Let's save this, and let's go and check this out. So here it is coming like this. Let's create more users, save, and yep, it's coming like this. You can let's say if this is small r, right? Most of the time user will type their name with lowercase later, so it's coming like this. So you can capitalize that thing, but by just giving it like style equals to text transform, that is going to be capitalized. Save this, right? So on click of a user we are going to switch the window from chat user list to the chat window, right? So here on li we are going to add a method. We'll say on click equals to here we're going to say user on user select, and obviously we're going to pass name of the user, let's say Rizwan. Any name will be fine. We'll simply, it's a dummy just, so we are going to have some value. So let's write the definition of this function. So here we're going to say const and paste the name, and here we're going to have like key or username or something like that. And here we'll say set step, so we want to switch to the third window, right? So we'll simply say previous step and then previous step plus 1, so it will become from 1 to 2, right? Save this. Now we are ready to write the third step. So let's try this out. We don't have anything on the third step, right? So let's reload and let's say Rizwan, and we have got 2 dummy users. Let's click on that and nothing happened, so we haven't written any third step. So on step 3, or basically it's like step 2, because starting from 0, we can say 2. We're going to write some JSX code, and else it is going to be null. And inside this we're going to say let's first write a div to separate, make a difference, right? And inside this we are going to say one more div, and basically we want the header, right? Just exactly like this. So let's copy this thing, copy and paste over here. Let's remove this. Okay, save. So instead of online users, we'll show the name of the user I'm talking to, right? So we'll say name of the user, save this, and now let's see. Let's reload name of the person, and let's click on this, and then this is who I'm going to talk, right? And next is the message window, right? So we'll say after that we'll say div, and let's close this as well. Kind of the JSX doesn't work well over here, so we'll give a class name that is going to be like message hyphen area, and inside this we'll show some dummy message. So the UL we'll say li, and here we're gonna say div inside this we'll say img, the user picture, right? Image of the user. So src, that is going to be like let's say require, and let's import the image that is going to be users /1.png, sorry, 1.png and dot default. And after this image we're going to give it a class name that is going to be user hyphen pic. Save this, and now let's see, this is looking like this, right? And after this here we want to, so when this message area will be closed, we want to show a text box also. So here we will say form. Inside the form I will give it a class name that is going to be message hyphen control, and inside this we'll say text area, sorry, that is going to be a text area, and a placeholder also, that is going to be like type something, and save this. Now after the text area we will show we'll check a container where we will place the input file, right, for the attachment. We'll say input type, that is going to be file, and after the file we will show, and after this file we will have a button, right? Inside the button we'll add an image and also the span tag for the text, and here we'll say send, right? Let's go and see how it is looking. So this is the text area, this is the button, choose a file, and this is the send button, right? So that is applied the color and everything over here. Now I specify the class and make it perfect. So here we're gonna say send, we want to say style, that is going to be like display inline hyphen block, so all the CSS property will be applied over here. Display inline block. For the image we want a send icon, right? src equals to send icon we will add over here, so import and send icon from, that is going to be like assets, and then send what's that, sorry, assets, and here send.png, save this. Now come over here and say send icon, right? So it is gonna look like this, send icon. And now we want to replace this input type file with the attachment icon, right? Paperclip icon you have just seen. For that we're going to write a label. We'll say label, so we can replace that, and we'll give it an ID with the input. The ID is going to be hidden file. So this is our hidden file input, and here we'll give the for, that is going to be like hidden file, so ID of that file, right? Now let's give it something like icon or something, whatever you want. So you're gonna see icon text is coming over here. So instead of click on the file, if you click on this icon also, it will show you that attachment, right? So you can attach something. Here we're gonna replace this with an image, so we'll say img and src, that is going to be attachment. We need an attachment icon, so we'll import that, import, and we'll say attachment from assets and paper hyphen clip.png, paper hyphen clip.png, save. Just come over here, we'll say attachment, right? And alt is going to be empty string, sorry, and yep, so you can see we have an attachment over here. Right now we want to hide, now we need to hide this choose file, so we already have a class for that. So we'll say okay, not here, but we'll say over here class name, that is going to be file hyphen input hyphen container, right? And that's very wrong. Let's reload. Let's create a user. Step 2, select the user to our chart, and it's coming like this. You can change the image size just by using property like image property. So we'll say over here img, the width is going to be 20, right? So this looks cool. We need to show a message also. Let's have a dummy message as well. So for that, so here after the user pick, we want to show the text message, right? So here we're gonna say what is it, just the text message, right? Something, your message, and it is going to have a class that is going to be message hyphen text, right? Go and see, this is coming like this. So cool, we are done with the UI. Let's test this thing again. Let's create a user, hit enter. Now we have the list of online users, we can click on that, and now we are ready to chat with someone. Nice. So here we have our nice UI, and here we have our app.js file where we are writing all of our JSX code, right? And this file is totally not looking nice, right? So we are going to split this code into different components so it is going to be more readable, right? So let's close this assets file, and within the src, oh, of course not, in the src we are going to create a folder that's going to say components. Okay, the components. Now let's go to the app.js file again, and now let's take a piece of it, and this is our for the user, right? So let's copy this, and let's go inside components and create a file, and let's name it. So this is for the user, right? So we'll say create user component.js file. So say rfc and hit enter, and let's name this component. So obviously it is going to be like create user, and this React is not required. because in the newest version of ReactJS, that import statement is unnecessary. Here we have create user, and we are going to replace this code with our app.js file code. So this is our create user component, right? And it needs on create user function and nothing else, right? So here we'll say under the props, or out of this, here we're gonna say const, and we will extract on create user function from the props, right? Save it, and here is this. Now let's go to the app.js file and let's replace this thing. And this still looks same, right? So reload this, and this is fine. Let's enter something, and it's working. Now the next thing is we need to work on this one, right? So this is for the list of online users. So here we'll create one more file for the online users. We'll say online users.js, and let's go to the app.js file. Let's bring this piece of code, copy inside the online users. Here we'll say RFC and online users. Let's replace this thing and save. So what we need over here, we need this function on user select, right? So we'll say const over here props, and here we're gonna say on user select over this. So this function is the requirement. Save. What else we have over here? Nothing. So let's save this. Let's go to your app.js file and let's paste the thing. We'll say over here that is online users component, and our file like on user select equals to on user select. Save. Okay, now the big one. So this one is here, and this is for the message part, right? We can type some message area, right? So we are gonna get this with the text area, right? So the message control as well, we have this form to send the message, right? Let's copy this, copy, and let's go to your components. And where the hell I've written online users, that needs to go in the components, right? So move, and hopefully app.js is also fine. Okay, now let's create one more file for the messages and the control of the messages, right? Okay, now let's create one more file for the message and control of it. Okay, inside the components, right? We'll say message messages control. You can keep any name. This is what coming in my mind right now. Sorry for the weird names, but what can I do? Don't have time to think. Okay, so here we have, let's copy this stuff and let's go to your messages control.js file, RFC to create a new component, and let's give it a name, messages control. Right, now let's replace this div with the JSX code. Save this, and let's see what we need to fix over here, because we have just copied the stuff over here. So here we have to update this one. Okay, that's a required statement to get the image and attachment, right? And also the send icon. So let's go to the app.js file and let's brought it there, right? Okay, now let's go to the app.js file and let's take those files. So here we have send icon and attachment. Let Control X, copy, and let's go to the message control and let's add it here. And of course you need to replace this as well. So here we have, and it is going to have one more dot just to go out of the directory and then have these files. Save, and let's try this thing. Attachments and icon isn't working. Why is that? That's fine over here. Users set icon. Let's save this. Let's go to the app.js file. Of course, we need to remove this thing because it is not required right now. Okay, so here we're gonna say messages control and save. So now our code is much simpler and cleaner, right? Save this, and here we can see, let's try this thing working as expected. Yes, fine, so it's working. Now we need to do some socket stuff to create the user and do this stuff, right? So here we have create user, so we need some state variables also. We'll say const and we'll say user name set user name, that is going to be use state, and here we are going to say the string, right? Now let's pass those things as a value to the create user component here. So we'll say value equals to user name, and on change equals to what is it, event, and we'll pass this to the event, right? We have input, and there we're gonna say what is it, set username and event dot target dot value. Okay, save this. So value and on change is here. Now let's go to the create user component, and here we're going to get the value, right? Input value, and on change as well, on change, and here we're going to say input, the value is going to be the value, and on change is going to be on change, right? Save, and let's try it's working or not. Let's go and reload. I guess it's already reloaded, and it's working nice. Okay, now when we will hit enter, let's see what is going to happen, and it's going to the next page. Perfect. So on create is also working fine. Okay, nice. So here we have create user, value, and on change, and here we're trying to set the we're changing the state, right? We'll log the console.log and we'll say username. Okay, now let's open the console, go to the console or reload, and here we're going to say hit enter, and we got the username. Nice. Right, now we have to use socket to emit an event, right? So as I told you, socket is event based library, right? So we can create the event and we can listen to those events. That's an important cool thing about socket, right? So before changing the step, we want to use socket, and we'll say emit. Oh nice, emit, and then name of your event, you can write any name. Let's say new user, right? So we'll say new underscore user. So this is our event name, new user, and we're going to use the same event name in the server side as well. So you can create a constant as well. The second argument will be just number of arguments you can pass, whatever the arguments, like image, data, numbers, values, string, anything. So I will simply say user name, someone got connected, right? So we'll emit this event, and now we will listen to this event on the server. So let's go over here, and this is our disconnect function. Just after that, we'll say socket dot on, and here we'll say listen to the event, right? That is new user, and here we are going to get the user name, right? Because whatever we will pass as a second argument will get over here as a function, arrow function. So let's say over here, right? So we'll give the username over here, and simply log the details, console.log username. So we'll create the user, and then we'll listen to that event, right? Or some user has connected to the server. Now let's try this thing working or not. So let's grab your here, and we'll try that. So let's see that. and let's create a user. Hit enter and let's see in the terminal. And you can see we got the Rizwan. So this is from the server, right? Believe me, this is from the server. So here you can see, oh, not here. Let's go over here and a console. That's we're gonna say server plus, right? And let's go to the file and let's try to create the user again. And here we'll say this one. And now let's go to this and see the server is saying there is one is connected. So like this we can create more users. Let's say localhost 1000 and let's say Anna, and let's again go to the server, and here you see the Anna is also connected, right? So someone got connected, we also got that message as well the ID of that person as well as the server Anna is connected. Let's handle and store these users so other users can communicate or chat with each others, right? So for that we will create a global variable that's for the to store the users, and we are not saving those users permanently, right? If you want me to save all those users permanently and save all those messages permanently, right, just let me know in the comment section and I will create the next part of this video of this system, and we'll do the persistent or permanent storage of the messages and users with authentication, right? But let's say users, and here, so this is an object, and when new user will connect we'll simply store that. We'll say users, and we'll use the socket ID. We already have the socket ID. We'll say socket dot, oh sorry, we will use the username to store them, because socket ID will always change whenever someone will disconnect and then connect. Socket ID will always be different for every user, right? So that's, we are not sure about it. So it's username, and then we are gonna say socket dot ID, right? Save this, and here we are saving all of these things. So after saving this to the server, right, we already have we are already in the session, right? So we can tell every other connected users, like this user, there is one user got connected, right? We can tell every other users someone connected, right? So people can chat with that person, right? For that we are going to broadcast a message to everyone, to all the connected client. So we'll say io dot emit, and we'll use the same name, just like a new message, new user, right? So it is for convenience, you can use any name, that is fine. Again, we are emitting a message from the server to all the clients. So emit function requires a second argument, that is going to, we're gonna say the users. So this users, actually this one, right? Let's save this, and io.emit will emit this user. Now let's go to the client side and we'll write a use effect to listen to those, to register the event listeners, right? Use effect takes an arrow function, and this will run only once because we don't want to recreate the events, right? So use effect will run only once. And here we're going to say socket dot on, we are going to listen to this, right? So we are going to listen to this new user. Let's copy this and let's paste over. We're going to listen to this, and here we'll say what is that, let's say the users is there, right? And we'll log simply, like someone got connected, console.log, and here we'll say users. Okay, now let's try this code is working or not. So let's go to the browser and let's inspect a console and let's reload. Okay, we'll try this one. This is a new user, so server will listen to this, right? And once server will listen to this, then server will broadcast a message to all the connected clients. Here is also right, so this is not connected yet. Okay, so let's say this one, and you can see we have got users data, right? We just logged that value. So you can see we have just logged this one, right? So we got that information. Let's create one more user. Let's say Anna, and let's open this time users now, and you can see there is a 2 users, and not just here, you will see here also. So you can see there is also the user, and the second object is both of them are here. So it's just like client is server is listening to the client, and once it will know, he knows like there is a user, right, and it broadcasts that to everyone. So let me explain you once again if you have doubt, right? So here is the thing. What we are doing first, we are creating the user. So on create user will be called, and then we'll emit event, right, that is new user, and then server will listen to this event. So here it will listen to the event, right, a new user, right, and will save that user, and then server will broadcast a message to all the collected clients with the event name new user, and we are ready to listen to that event, right? We have already written a function to listen to all the to the server, right? So here is the event name new user, and we got the user. So here we are going to create a set, again a list of users, right? So const, and we'll save users, set users, and that is going to be like use state, and this is going to be an object just like the server. So here we are going to save this thing. We'll say set users, and we'll pass the name of the users. So we'll say users, right? Now we can loop through this, and we can show all the users, right? So we'll go to the online users, and here, and as a second property we'll create that. So we'll say users, that is going to be the users, save, and let's go to the online users. Let's extract that property, that is users, and here, so users is an object, right, and this is our online users, right? So this is our li to show the list of users. Let's remove this is an extra user, that's dummy data, right? And inside this we'll say users if user exists, and users, that's enough. If user exists, then definitely dot length, you can try that, users dot, oh no, that's not. If user is true, then that's fine. We'll say object, that's an object, right? Keys, and here we're gonna say users. So this will give me an array with the keys, right? So that's basically nothing but the name of the users, right, who connected. Here we're gonna say not that connect. So this is an array. We can use a map function to iterate through this, and here we'll say user comma index, and just not like that. So here we'll say like this, and let's return this statement. Let's copy this and paste over here, right? So we are going to display the user, that's here. We'll say user, yeah, that's the name of the user, and we don't have any message right now, so we can comment this thing, right? Save this, and let's try this stuff over here. Reloaded. Let's create a new user. We'll say Rizwan, and you can see we have got Rizwan, we have got Hannah. So there are a lot of users actually. So what happened? Clients got connected, and then clients, again the browser got disconnected, but in the server there is already the list of users, right? So we have to disconnect them if someone will close the client like this. So we have to definitely disconnect this, otherwise we're gonna end up with lots of user, as you can see over here, right? So we have to disconnect them as well. So let's go to the server, and here we are listening to when someone will disconnect. We'll simply iterate through this user slit. We'll say for, and then let, and here we'll say user of, oh not that, we'll say user in, and then users, right? So it's a for loop, and here if we'll say users, we have the socket ID, right? So we will first match with the socket ID, like whose socket ID is that, and then we'll disconnect that. We'll remove that particular user. We'll say users, and then that particular user, this will give a socket ID, right? And we'll compare that socket ID with the with the disconnected socket ID, right? We'll say socket.id. So if this match with this, means the user is going to disconnect. This is the ID of the user who is disconnecting, right? And we'll simply match with the value. If match, then definitely we're gonna delete that. So we'll say delete users and that particular user, so it will be removed from the object, and that's all. Save. Now let's try this stuff again. Okay, so let's reload. Probably I need to disconnect again, quit the server. Yeah, it's working fine. So let's reload and create one more and create one more. So we have three different, we can create three different users. So let's say Rizwan, and Rizwan is just over here. Let's say localhost 3000, and we're gonna say someone, right? And then one more time, let's create that, and here we'll say Anna. So you can see all of them has the same list of user, right? So it's all fine. We have, so it's listening perfectly nice, but the thing is here, I don't want to show myself, right? I don't want to chat with myself. This is me, Rizwan is me, and this is right online users. So here we'll add a condition. We don't want to listen to that person, right? So we'll simply say inside here, and here that is going to be like I know the user, right? So I have to see who is the connected user. So we'll simply say user, if that user is equals to username, right? So this username is actually the one is right now logged in, right? So obviously I have to get that username as well. Say username from the app.js file, and let's go to the app.js file and pass the username as well. I'll say username, that is going to be username. Save this, and online users, and save over here as well. Okay, we need to say if user.username, if not equal to, actually if not equal, then we'll show the li, and we'll show the list of other users, right? Otherwise it is going to be null. And also we are getting a warning, as you can see over here, right? That's error, unexpected token. Okay, that's fine, that's totally unexpected. So we can say, oh, not here. We can say over here, let's close this, save this, and you can see a warning, right? If you go there, okay, we will get the warning. So we have to add a key also over here. So let's say user, save, right? Now let's try this. So as you can see, I'm not here, it's the only other two users, so that's this one and this one. I can see other users, and other users can see me. So you can see there is one is here, and over here the Sana is also over here. So this is how it is working. Nice. Now we still have a problem over here. So this is this client is logged in as Rizwan, right? So here I'm gonna say what's that. So this client is logged in as Rizwan, and here we're. So this is Rizwan, and Rizwan can see Sana and Anna, and like this we have here third client, second client, and third client. So if I will disconnect, Rizwan, let's disconnect and okay, let's disconnect it, and here you can see so Rizwan is still available. I have got disconnected, but it is showing over here. It's because we have a little problem. We have removed the user from the server, right? Based on the socket ID, we have written that piece of code. You can see here. So we are looking for the particular user, and if we found the user, right, based on the socket comparison, then we'll delete that user. But again, we have to tell everyone this user got disconnected, right? So we have to emit event, right, to tell everyone this is the now new set of users available right now. So what we have to do, we have to emit this function again, this event again. So let's copy event and let's paste over here, save this. And I'm planning to, this is a bit confusing for this socket.new user. So this is the kind of like new user is trying to connect with the server. So this event will listen to that if someone will connect, but this should be a different name, right? So planning to change that. Let's do that. So let's go to the app.js, and here you have written new user, right? Okay, it's we are emitting the event from the server. So here, instead of new user, I will say all user, right? Because this is not one user, this is all users, right? So the event name is all users. Let's copy and let's paste over here. And also let's update in the front end. So instead of new user, this is going to be the all users. Save this and save over here as well. Now what is going to be see when we will emit a new user, then server will listen and create the user, right? And to show and to broadcast like all the users to all the clients, then we'll emit this action, right? So client will listen to that all users and then set the users, right? It is pretty clear. So that's how it is working. Now let's try this thing again, and let's go over here. Let's close so here let's close this one, and you can see all of them gone because it's like new server. Let's clean this one as well. Localhost 3000. Let's create the user, and let's create a new client again. We'll say localhost, and let's create a new user, Anna, and let's create one more user. Let's create that. Let's say Sana. So now I can see Anna and Sana, and Anna can see Rizwan and Sana, and also Sana can see Rizwan and Anna. Let's try to disconnect Rizwan, right? Let's disconnect this, and you can see that this appear from here, also from here. If I will disconnect Sana, then Anna cannot see the Sana. Let me show you. Close, and you can see there is no user. So this is only me, right? I cannot chat with myself, and it's fine. It's working well. Let's reload. So this is working fine. Now the next step is we are going to send message, right? So let's go to the client side, and we have, so this is our message control component, and here we can send the message and also can show the message, right? So let's try to first send the message, and here we're gonna say on submit. On submit equals to I will say send message, and we need this function, right? So we are going to get this function from the props. So let's say const equals to props, right? Now let's go to the app.js file and create that function. So here we come, const send message, right? And it's going to get an event. All right, and here is the message control component. We'll say send message. So this is our function, and let's write the event. So we'll change the default behavior of the browser, right? So here we have event.prevent default, and we'll create an object to send the message, but before that we need a state value for the message variable, right? So here we'll say const message set message and use state, and this is going to be an empty object, right? And we'll pass this message to the control, right? We'll say value equals to message, and on change equals to, that's going to be event, and then set message, that is going to be event dot target dot value. Save. So these two things kind of important to write the message, right? Now let's go to the message control component and assign those values to the input. So where is this one, right? We'll say value equals to value, and on change is going to be on change. And obviously we need to import this thing we need to get those from props. Say value and on change. Save this. So let's try this and see it's working or not. App.js send message. On submit of this, we'll simply log the message. Console.log and say message, right? Save this. Let's go to the browser. Let's reload. Let's go to the inspect console. Let's create a new user, and let's create one more user so we can chat with each other, right? Oh no, that's kind of like localhost, and we're gonna say Anna. So let's chat with Anna, right? and this is the dummy message. You do not need to worry about that. And invalid DOM property for that is going to be HTML4. In React, that's HTML4. We need to update that. Here we're gonna say hello Anna, let's send, and we got the message, so it's fine, right? Let's go over here and let's collect the message const, and we are going to create an object like data, and here we're going to say who is the sender, someone like who is going to send the message. So sender is like current user, and for that we have created to hold that, that's a username, so the session, right? That's the current user. Username is a sender, and who is going to get those message? Receiver. So we haven't decided yet, right? Okay, let's say the message, and also let's decide the, we decide the username, right? A receiver, who is going to receive that message, the recipient of the message. So just next to the username, we're gonna say receiver, someone definitely going to receive that message, set receiver, and here we're going to say use state, and let's empty. And we are writing this on user select, so this is when someone click on that. Let's see, here we are, and let's create that. So when I will click on this Rizwan or Anna, then I'm able to select that, right? So on click of this, I'm calling a function that's on user select, this function, right? You can see over here, create user, online users, and here I'm calling a function on user select. So definitely I have to give the username instead of this hard-coded string. So we'll say user, save this. Now let's go to the app.js file, and there we have a function that's on user select. So it is going to be like username, right? So someone I want to chat, so that is going to be our receiver. That person is going to receive the message, right? We'll say set receiver, and here we're going to say username of that person actually. We'll say, so our receiver is ready. So when we'll select, then that time we'll set the receiver who I'm going to send the message, right? And here I will get the same person, so we'll say receiver, that is fine. So sender, and then we have receiver, and we have a message. We want to send the media as well, so here we'll just simply say const, and let's write media. Media means I basically want to send the image right now, not much of that. Set media, that is going to be use state, and that is going to be null initially, and here we will send that media. Okay, so that is the media, and now we are going to emit, right? We are going to send this message, so we'll emit. We'll say socket dot emit, and we'll create the name of the event. There is nothing but send message, right? And here we are going to pass that data. We'll save this, and here we'll emit, and definitely we're going to receive that in the server, so server will listen to that. So just after this, on new user, I will create another socket dot on, and the event name is send message. So when client will emit this, then server will pick up that and will call back a function, right? And the second argument data will get over here, and here, fine. So here we'll simply just log console.log, and they say data. Now let's try this. Let's reload this one too, and here let's create the user, and let's create one more user. And now let's select Rizwan, and here we'll say hello Rizwan, send, and let's see in our server. So here it is, the sender is Anna. We just logged that value, as you can see over here. So we just logged it, right? So we got those values, and it is over here. So the sender is Anna, receiver is Rizwan, message hello Rizwan, media is null, we are not sending anything. You can also send the picture, so we go over here, and while creating the user, we will also create a profile pic, kind of like emoji, some random pic. So we'll create that one too, const, and we'll say avatar, and then set avatar, and here you're gonna say use state, and that's here. And in case of avatar, what I'm gonna do, where is that, on create user, yeah, here we'll just going to the next step, right? So here you can see I have a folder users. Inside that I have couple of pictures. That's just one, that's set of like 1 2 3 4 till the 8. So for every user I will just pick a random number, and that is going to be the avatar of that user. Clear? Let's go to the app.js file and create the avatar of the user. So say const and avatar equals to math dot floor, and then math dot random number. So it will generate some random number. We're going to multiply that number because that number, that generated number will be like 0 point something, right? So we'll multiply with that number, so it will be like in between that 1 to 10, but it will be in decimal, so we'll floor this, and that value will be enough. So a is going to be that right number, and then we'll add some extension over here. We'll say .png, right? So this is our image, 1.png, 2.png, like that. Say set avatar, and here we'll say a. So avatar will be set like that, and here we're gonna say just of the media avatar set, right? Now let's try this thing again. Let's go to the browser, and it's reloaded. Let's create the user, this one, and Anna is already there. How is that possible? I haven't reloaded, that's why it's there. Let's reload it. Let's reload this, and let's say this one, and then Anna. So I can chat with this one. I will simply send my message, hello, send, and we got the message, and let's see that in the server, right? So we have got avatar.2.png, means this is the avatar of that person who sent me the message, right? So I can use that to show the user icon over here, right? So this is working fine. Now it's time to listen to that message. So let's see the event name again, that's send message. So when someone is sending the message, here we are getting that message on the server only, right? We are not sending that message to the another client, right? We need to know the socket ID of that client, right? And that's why we are saving this users in an object, so we can get the client ID whenever we want, right? We have this receiver name, right? So we can easily get the receiver name. We'll simply say const socket ID, that is going to be like we'll say users, and then data dot not sender, is going to be like receiver, data receiver. So this is going to give us the name of the username of the person who is going to receive this message, right? And then it will give us a socket ID, right? So we have the socket ID over here. So we have got the socket ID. Now we can send that particular user a message by using a to method. So we'll say io.to, and here it requires a socket ID. So we'll say socket ID of that particular client, and then we'll emit the event, right? And here we are going to send get the message, right? Send message or anything you can write. So we'll say send underscore message. So it is sending message to that particular client, and we'll send that data simply, nothing else. So whatever we have got from the person, we'll send the same thing to another person. And then we have to obviously listen to this message, right? So we'll go to the client, and here inside the use effect we'll write one more socket listener. We'll say socket dot on, and the event name is send underscore message, right? And it's more better if I write it's like new message, right? Client is someone is getting a new message, so name should be like a new message instead of send message, new underscore message. So it's a new message. Save this. Let's go to the client, and instead of send message we'll say new underscore message. So someone getting that message, right? So we'll say data, and simply we'll console.log, and here we have got the data. Save this, right? and let's save this. Let's try this thing in the browser. So here we have two different client. Let's reload this as well as this. Let's go to the inspect. Also here, let's console, open this, and fine. Let's create the user, and let's create one more user, say Anna. Right now I want to send message to Anna, so we'll simply select the Anna and we'll send the message, hello Anna. Clear the console, let's send it, and let's see on the client side. So this is the sender, right? This client is the sender and this is the receiver, and here you can see we have got the message just because of we have logged that. So here we've got the avatar2 media null message, hello Anna. So this is the message Anna received from Rizwan. As you can see, the sender is Rizwan and receiver is Anna. Now it's time to store these messages. So whenever later in time, if someone opens someone else like window, then she can see the messages, right? Whatever the message was there. So let's go to the client side and create something like const group message. This is still one-on-one. Just the name is group message. Suits more. You'll get to know why the name is group message. It says set go group message, use state, and this is again going to be an object. What I'm trying to do, I will explain just in a second. So here first, at the time of sending a message, right, but what I'm trying to do, let me explain. So let's say Rizwan and Anna is doing chat with each other, okay, chatting with each other. So for them I will create a unique key, right? So the key is going to be like Rizwan hyphen Anna, and this key will store all the messages of them, right? So this is going to be all the message, M1, M2, M3. Now let's take one more thing. Rizwan is also chatting with Sachin, okay, Sachin. So we'll create a new key that is going to be Rizwan hyphen Sachin, right? And we'll store all those messages over here like M1, M2, M3. Let's say Anna is doing chat with Sachin, so we'll do like Anna hyphen Sachin, and their messages will be stored in an array like M1, M2, M3, right? I think this is the best way we can store all those messages, everyone's messages, right? Like making a pair and using the pair as a key, and after that we will store them in an array and assign those to the key, right? That's why I've created this group message thing over here. Cool. I think you have got the idea what I'm trying to do over here. So I have to do this thing in the two places. First, when I'm trying to send the message, I want to store my message also, right? And also when I will receive a new message from like server, then I will store based on the sender and receiver. For this, again, I need to create a function, because the thing is, if Rizwan will chat with Anna or Anna will chat with Rizwan, I need to order these names in alphabetical, right? So not Rizwan and Anna, instead I will say Anna hyphen Rizwan, alphabetical order. So what it is going to be whoever will open the message based on alphabetical order, the key will be generated, and these people will get the right messages instead of getting the wrong or creating another key just because of the when this is like Rizwan initiated the chat, right? But next time if Anna will initiate the chat, then Anna will come first, right? In that case we will have two different group of messages. That's I don't want. So simply I will create a key and in alphabetical order. So you'll get more idea what I'm trying to say over here. So just let me on the top I will create a function const sort names equals to, let's say, the username 1, username 2, so these two names, and then we'll return that. Return, here we'll say array, and username 1, username2. Now this is an array. We can sort this by using sort function, right? Sort, and so this is again sort will return an array. So we can do the method chaining, and we'll join these two names with hyphen. So we'll say join with a hyphen. Okay, that's cool. Now this is gonna return the correct key. Save this, and you'll simply get an idea of what I'm trying to do over here. So here, let's come to this send message part, and let's create that. We'll simply say const and key is equal to we'll say sort names, and username one is nothing but it's the current user, the logged in user, and then the receiver is going to be like receiver itself, right? Receiver. Now the key got created, and if key in group message, if that key already exists in the group message, then the chat is already initiated, so we just have to store the message. But what if there is no key? So we'll create the key, right? We'll say group message, and we'll use a key, and we'll create an array, and we'll store the data. And here so this when key already exists, again we'll do the same stuff, group message, use a key, and this time we'll push the new message. So we'll simply say data, right? Save this, and then we'll use set message, and here we'll split the group message, right? And this will do the console.log. We'll say group message. Save. This is one time we'll do this thing. Let's try this thing. Okay, let's reload. Here also we'll reload. Create a new user. Create another user. Okay, we'll now try to chat. Select the Anna, right? Send the message. Hey there, send. You can see we have got a group message, right? What I was trying to say this. So this is the key pair, right? Anna and Rizwan. So this is the key. Every time when Anna and Rizwan will do message each other, that is going to be stored over here, and we can identify like sender is Rizwan, receiver is Anna, like that. Same we have to do for the like when we will receive a new message. So we'll do the same stuff. So here we'll receive the new messages, right? So this useEffect function will only run once, right? So we have to take care of the old messages as well, very well. Set group message, and then we'll write previous group message, and then we have to return the group message, right? So here we'll say const messages, kind of not getting the right name, and then say prev group message, and store that because I don't want to mess with the current object, right? The messages we have got, and we'll create the key as well. Key equals to sort, like I want to identify whose message is this, right? So we'll say sort names, the current user, user name, and then receiver, right? So the thing is here, the important part and most important question for the React developers is this hook will run only once, right? And this receiver will be empty, right? When this hook will run, at that time this receiver state will be empty, and this is not going to be ever again filled, right? Because this is already executed, and whenever this sort name will call, the current username will be there, but receiver will always be like empty string, right? Because this is not going to recalling, and I don't want to create a dependency over here. If I will create a dependency like that, say receiver, so if I will create a dependency over here, then this useEffect will execute again and again, and it will create the socket events with, again and again, and this is completely out of the control. So I don't want to do that. For that I will create a simple reference, use ref variable. So just after the receiver, well, just after that, const, I'll say receiver ref equals to use ref. Let's assign the default value that is going to be like null, and okay, receiver ref is null. When we will assign the receiver, there we'll store that. So we'll say receiver ref dot current equals to username. So this is this will always change, right? We don't need to worry about the state. And here inside that, instead of using receiver, just receiver, we'll say receiver ref dot current. So the current user, right, will get the key. Now if key in messages, key in already the messages, then we have to push a new message, right? We'll say messages, we'll set the key, and we'll create the array, and we'll get the old messages, right? Yeah, messages with key, and then we'll have our data, right? That's a new message. Else, if it is the first time, then we'll say messages key, that is going to be an array, a complete new array, and we'll simply store the data, right? And then definitely we need to return this message, right? So we'll come down, return, and we'll say messages. So this set group message will be set, right? Next, let's try this working or not. Okay, so let's go over here, reload the stuff here also, and we'll say new user S1, and let's create one more user, that's Anna. And so our user's ready. Let's send the message to the Anna, say hello, send message. So our message created. Let's see on the client side, so new message we got or not. Yeah, we have got the new message from the client, but we haven't consoled that value, so we have to do that. Set group message, and you can log it here, and not here. Let's log just here, console.log, we'll say group message. So this is going to be log every time, right? So do not worry, that's not a performance issue. So let's see what we are getting. Just reload the things again, and let's go over here. Let's create a new user, and let's create one more user. And now Anna wants to send message to the Rizwan, so we'll send that message. Hello. Let's see, are we receiving that message or not? And here we have got, so this is fine, this is for me, but let's see on, and that's not the one I'm looking for. Okay, the problem is here we have got the, okay, actually this is not selected, the user is not selected yet, right? So that's completely wrong. We have to get those sender and receiver name from the object itself. That was mistake. So instead of username, we'll say data.sender, and that reference is gonna useful somewhere else, though do not worry. Data.receiver, try this, right? And let's reload again, create the user, and let's create another user, Anna. Now let's send message from here to the Anna, say hello, right? And we've got the object. So this is fine, this is normal log, no need. The important one is it should log over here, and yes, it's fine, it's working. So we have got a message, Anna is one, the same, without doing anything. We haven't selected it yet, right? But we have the sender receiver name, so because of that we got the message. So we have created that new message, group message, and now we can set this and use it, right? So you can see the pair is Anna is one, and this is the first message, and the same pair is here. This is fine. Now we can send the message here from here also. Let's say how are you, and let's send it. You can see we have got this second message, and it's like logged, hello, how are you, 3 times, kind of like wrong. Let's go to the chat side, and here is the 2 message. That's fine. Hello, how are you? But why is that 3? Is that the one already there? I guess. Okay, let's see what's wrong. We'll get to know. That is not a worry. let's try to render those messages. Okay, so let's go and pass those the group message. Where is that? Message control will say group message equals to group message, right? Let's go to message control and let's extract the group message. Let's go to app.js, let's have this stuff and paste over here. Let's save this. So we have got the group message. Now it's time to iterate through those messages, and this is the li where we want to show the message. This is the user icon, right? So inside the li we'll iterate, we'll say group message is the right property or not, and of course you want to use the sort name function as well. So let's go to the message control and app.js. Okay, the sort names, kind of like sort names, save message control, and let's get those sort names. Use the sort names. So here we'll say if it exists, then we'll do group message, and then sort names, pass the username, the current user, and of course we need to pass those also. The current user, user name, that's the current user, and the receiver who we are talking to, and here it is going to be like receiver or receiver. So here we go to the message control and get those values as well. Receiver. Okay, so this is nice, looking beautiful. So here sort names, and we'll try to call those. So I'll say user name and then receiver, right? Okay, we have got the key, and okay, that's the key, and so let's take this thing out, and here we'll say if length, this is gonna give us an array. We'll check the length is greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, then we'll execute that code. So I think what we can do, that's fine. Okay, we have to call this again actually, so let's copy this, and here we'll const and group messages, sort names, and messages, and also we'll see if that exists or not, group message, if that's true or not. Right, if that's true, then only, otherwise it is going to be null. So kind of like long group message, then if exists, then we'll try to find out, otherwise it's null. Instead null, we'll simply say an array, empty array, so it will not iterate through that. And here we'll simply say messages, and let's remove all this stuff. If messages dot length greater than 0, then we'll execute our messages code. Messages dot map msg, and here we'll simply paste this stuff. Control X and paste over here. In message we want index as well, so we can say over here like li key equals to li key equals to index, and something wrong. Yeah, of course we have to say, otherwise it will null. Okay, so here it is, and here we're gonna use the avatar, the data we got, right? So we'll say message, right, msg dot avatar. That's a png dot one dot png or something, right? And text we are going to get over here. So I'll say message dot, what's that, message, right? Save this. Hope that's right. Okay, we have got two messages, and not very good, looking nice, so fine. Reload this. Let's see how many users are there and it's working well or not. There is one, Anna, and now we have two users. I want to chat with Anna, and there is something wrong. Cannot read property length of undefined. Messages dot length, right? So let's go back to the client, and I got the issue because the messages, if this group message exists, then this will be true, right? But if this sort names doesn't exist, if it doesn't give the right, then it is a problem. So let's try this thing. Messages, save. Now try again. Reload this one, and new another user, Anna, right? And now let's select Anna. I want to chat with her. Let's say hi, and we got a message hi. Is she got a message? And he got the message twice actually. That's not I want. So something wrong with our set group message. Okay, let's see what is that wrong stuff. App.js listener is here. Okay, to fix this problem, it's because of here we are taking the previous message as it is, right? So there is some problem with the mutation of the object. So instead of taking it as it is, we'll simply create a new message object from the old one, right? Now let's try this stuff. Okay, hopefully this will solve our problem. Let's reload this, and let's reload this one also, and let's create a new user. Hit enter, and let's create another user, say Anna. Now both of them can see each other. Let's chat with Anna. So you'll say hello, send. So we have got one message, and here we've got, let's select the user and one. So it's working nice, right? Hello, hi. Got the second message, hi, and here it is hi. But the problem is all of them coming just in one line, right? Okay, this looks working fine, right? I've just pinged over here whatever it is, and then send the message, and you can see the message is coming over here, as well as the receiver is receiving the message. This looks fine, but actually there is coding problem. And here you can see at the time of when we are doing the send message, when we are clicking on the send button over here, right, we are preparing this data, and we are pushing that data inside the group message, and this is working. I guess the group message we are saving directly inside the group message, and somehow the component is getting re-rendered, and where we are getting the right message, but actually we are not setting the right object. You can see over here. So we will say, instead of set message, we'll say set group message, and instead of using group message, let's first create an object. Const will say temp group temporary group message equals to, now let's split that group message, right? So it's a new object, and use this temp group message instead of that group message. Paste and paste over here. Now we are going to take this temp group message and spread over here. This is the correct way. We will not get any problem in the future, right? And let's we don't need to log this stuff down here, right? And messages, what is this? Oh, this is the send message actually. We also don't need to log this stuff over here. Save, and okay, looks fine to me. Save this and see, it's still working as expected. And also One more thing, the way we are pushing, we should not do like that. This is not the standard way of doing in React. So we'll say this is an array. We'll split the existing message like temp group message, and then we'll say the key, whatever the key, and then we'll say data. Right? That's the existing messages, and for the new messages, this is going to be the one. Save this. Now let's go to the Chrome and let's reload the stuff over here and try this thing working or not. This one, let's go to the chat and we'll create a new user, Anna. Now Anna wants to chat with Rizwan, right? So we'll say hello, and we're getting the message and both of them receiving the message, right? And we haven't worked on the notification yet. Will work sure, but also we need to update, like someone we want to chat, we want to show the name of that person over here. In this case it's both Rizwan, right? So let's update that stuff too. And here we are gonna say okay, it's kind of thing like where is the window, right? So this is the message control, and we are already sending the receiver, so that's the person we want to chat. Let's go to the message control, and over here yeah, this is hard-coded as one. Let's remove this, and we'll say over here this needs to be the receiver who is going to receive the message, right? Save, and this is one, and this is Anna, working fine, right? Also we want to send the media, right? And so let's go and work on that. So here you can see we have this input file, and we can put an attachment. Also our console is giving a lot of warning for this for, so instead we'll say HTML4, right? Save this. Okay, on change of this, let's say on change equals to, we'll get an event, and over here we'll get the file const. We'll say file equals to event.target.files, and we want, that's the single file, right? 0. We'll say console.log. We'll put the file over here. Save. Now let's go to the console and try this stuff working or not. So let's clean this stuff and select the user, select the window, let's select any image, and yeah, we have got the file. So we have got all the file information, but this is not that easy to work on that, right? So this is the file and nothing much. So we have to create some binary file to send that to the other user, right? So this is our file, right? Now we need to read this file. This is just an ordinary file object, but we need to create a binary object of that file, right? So we'll say const, and we'll use a browser file reader API. We'll say reader new, and here it is going to like file, okay, that's wrong, file reader. So this is a file reader object, and we'll say reader dot read as data URL. So it is going to generate a string, and we'll pass the file object over here, so it is able to read that, right? I will say reader dot onload. It takes that's a function, and whatever. So we are going to execute that, as well as we will see for the error if that's a wrong file or something wrong with that. Say on error, that is again going to be a function, and here we'll get an error object also. So we'll say error, and now we'll log that information right now over here, console.log, and we'll say error. Inside the reader, we are gonna set the media file, right? We'll say console.log, and this is going. So this is going to be like a reader.result. Okay. Also, we'll set media, so we can set directly without. Okay, let's see are we getting that result or not. Let's save this stuff, and something wrong over here. We're getting an error. Reader on error. Okay, that's not function that. No, it's fine. Save this. Now let's try this. Okay, let's attachment, let's select an attachment, open that, and we have got an object, right? We have got a data string, right? So this is the binary base64 string. We can load directly this in the browser. You can see over here. Let's copy, and let's go to the new tab, paste over here, hit enter, and you can see we've got that image, right? So that's the base 64 encoded object. We can decode that. That's nothing much. Browser can do that automatically. So here you can go here and we'll set the media object. Say set media. Inside this will what is that? Media. And over here we'll create an object and we'll say media. Oh, that's already media. So we'll say it's an image. We'll pass over here true. And what is the content of the image? So the content we're gonna say reader dot result, and the next is the name of the file. So we'll say name, and we can get the name from the file itself, file.name. Save. So this is our media is also ready to deliver, right? Okay. And once we can send over here, right? So our media is set. Now we are ready to send it, right? So let's go to the app.js file, and here the media will come automatically. That we have already set that, right? Oh, actually we have to pass that sig media over here. We'll say set media, that is going to be like set media, and there message control, and here we are setting that media, set media, that takes an object. We have to get that from the props, set media. Okay, now let's go to the app.js. So as you can see, we are already getting the media, so it will simply pass over there. And the important thing, we have to remove once it is delivered, right? So if media not equals to null, initial value will be null, right? So we'll say set media, that is going to be null. Okay, so it will be back to normal once the image will be delivered, right? So here let's try this thing. It's working or not. We'll say let's share an image. Okay, use an image, open that. The image got selected, right? Now send it, and let's go to the client side, and here we have got our message. So open that, and here we have got a media object also. So image, that's a true. We have got the content also and name also, right? So fine, great. Now let's go back. Now let's go to the client, and we are ready to show the image over here. So let's go to the app.js file again. Yeah, that's here. And actually the message control, so we can show the media over here. So we need to pass from the app.js media also. We'll say media equals to media. Right, now let's go to the message control, and here we're going to get the media, right, from the props, and we'll check over here. Where is the message? Yeah, here we are showing the message, right? So this is the message, this is the text message, and we want to show that. Okay, so we'll say div, close this, and here we'll come over here. Let's have this thing, right? And this is going to be display only if there is a message, right? So we'll say msg dot message not equals to empty, kind of like this. Otherwise this thing is going to be null, right? If there is a message, then only will display. And we don't need the media from here. Let's remove this, and let's go to the app.js file also. We don't need to send it from here. Let's save this. Let's go to the message control, and over here the message, we already have that in the data object, right, in this message. So here we'll say msg dot media, if that's a true, because we are getting in the response, right? If that's true, and msg dot media dot image, if that's true, because as you can see over here, what we have, the message, right, the media, msg dot media, and then image true. If this object exists and image is true, then we'll only show the content, right? So let's go back to the client, and if this is true, then we'll show only the image. So we'll say div, and over here Apart from that, it's going to be null, and here inside that we'll have the image, right? And he will say src, that is going to be it's going to be, what's that? So src is going to be like msg dot media dot content, and alt is going to be empty string, and this div is going to have a class, because obviously the image has some property just to handle the css part, right? So we'll say image hyphen container. Let's save this, and I guess this is enough to deal with this thing, and let's try this stuff. Okay, let's go to the browser, and yeah, we're getting the image. Save this. Let's reload this also, and here let's create a user. Let's create another user. Okay, now let's select this person and let's send an attachment. We go here, downloads, let's select this image, kind of little big, send over here, and this is coming very large. Oh, this didn't expect. But the important thing, we are getting the image, right? So this we are getting in both sides, as you can see. We have to fix the image ratio, right? So we'll go to the client, and here we'll specify the width. WID width is going to be like, hardly it is going to be 200, not more than that. So yes, now it's fine. Height we are not gonna adjust, only width is enough, because height, if we adjust height, then it is going to be like something weird. So here this is working fine. Now if you want to send a hello, you can send the hello as well. Send, and it's coming over here, and here it is coming. But one thing we have to fix from the UI level, both the users message coming on the same side, right? This is someone's message and this is another user's message, and all of them coming on the same side. It should be like, so my message needs to be on the left side or right side, and vice versa, whatever you feel preferred. Let's go over here, and here is the li, right? And here is a div, that's the user pic, and this is the content or text message, whatever it is. So it needs to be like update on the UI level style, and here we're gonna say like flex direction. We're gonna use the CSS property flex direction, and over here username is equivalent to if username is going to be same as like data dot receiver, right? So basically if someone will send the message, right? So well, this is just a data dot receiver. Oh, that is actually msg dot receiver. So msg dot receiver, this msg we have over here, right? So if username here it is, if username is equal to the message dot receiver, from the other side I will be the receiver, right? So if someone is sending a message, then I will be the receiver. If I'm the receiver and the username is same as the receiver, then definitely I need to that align that message on another one-sided, right? And other will go on the left side. So let's say row, and here we'll say row hyphen reverse. Okay, let's try this, row and row reverse. Username message dot receiver. Now let's try. Reload, and here we can say res, and let's create another user, and let's select the res one, and let's say something hello. Okay, it's coming on the right side, so hopefully this will come on the left side, whatever it is. Yeah, it's working fine. So my message is going on the right side. You can just change the reverse, row reverse, just change the, switch the values, and then whatever you feel comfortable, that is going to be your one, right? So here it's working fine, absolutely, right? So we can send the messages, we can send the attachments, right? We can select the attachments also. You can say, and here you can say the attachment is also coming, and with the hello, right? I don't want to send this message, so we have to make this message part empty, right? So let's go, and when I'm sending the message, where is that? app.js, right? And here where is that? Send message. yes, here, and here we'll simply say set message, that is going to be an empty string once the message delivered, right? Let's send again, and the message delivered, right? So we have got this message. So far so good, it's working absolutely fine. We can send the messages, we can share the images, the core logic of our application is working absolutely fine. But still we are left with one of the important thing, that's the notification, right? If I'm sending a message, for example, you can see, and I also don't have the close button, so I have to write a logic over here. Just reload this stuff and this one too. Let's create a user, let's say Rizwan, right? And let's create one more user, that's Anna, and I want to send message to the Rizwan, right? So I want to send message to the Anna, so I will open Anna and I will send the message hello, and Anna will receive messages from me, right? So here she has no notification, she has no information, so it's better to show some template over here, like there is one message from Rizwan, right? So what I'm gonna do over here, I will just enable the template. So here you can see this is the online user component, right? Online user component, and I already have a span tag over here to show the count of the message. Let's uncomment this, save, and let's go to the browser, and you can see this is the template. This is a basic template of notification, and the count of is 3, is all dummy hard-coded stuff. So I will write a function to get the count of the messages, count of the new messages, right? So I'll simply say we'll write a function like check unseen messages, okay? And here like this is the name of user, right? As you can see, this is the name of user, and we want to show the message of this user, right? The unseen message of this person. So we'll simply pass that user is nothing but the username, and it is going to work as a, so for me, for this Anna, everyone is a receiver, right? Everyone is going to receive the message. Anna is itself a sender, and everyone is a receiver. So this user is nothing but a receiver. So let's save this, and also let's get this check. Let's get this from the props. Here we'll say comma and save it. Let's go to the app.js, and over here we are going to write a function to get the count, right? Message count. Const, we'll say over here like this, and here it is going to get the user, right? So this user is nothing but the receiver. So we'll simply say instead of user we'll write the receiver, right? We'll get all of them. This is a array, sorry, not, this is a list. It will iterate multiple times. Every time when a list will render, then it will this will call this function, right? And we'll get the count of the message. So here we have to return the count of the message, okay, or just 0. So here we have the receiver. So first we need to prepare the key to get the messages, right? So we'll say const and key equals to sort names. The logged in user, nothing but Anna, right? This is an Anna username, and the receiver, that is nothing but the Rizwan or whoever is messaging, right? So here we'll get the key. Now if we'll say if key in group, key exists in the group message, key exists, then it's a great thing. We'll get all the messages, and then we can count it, right? So we'll simply say group message and then key. So this is gonna give us an array of messages, right? So here we'll say dot filter, we can use the filter, and we'll say msg comma index. Index is not required, so we can simply say msg. That's enough. msg, and here okay, so let's comment this. One information is very important, just to get the information about the notification of the messages, right? So here we are creating this payload or data, whatever you want, you can call it. So this is an object, and here we're gonna say view, because this is the message I'm sending, right? And by default it is going to be false, because I have no idea the user is chatting with me or not, he's chatting with the other person. So I have no idea, so I will give it a view false, and for me it is going to be true, right? The here we are sending the message, right? Here we are sending, here we are sending, here we are sending, so it will go with the false, right? And here this is for me, this is my message, right? Here we are creating this group message and we are rendering that in the window. So this is my message. Inside that I'm sending, right? So window is open, right? Chat window is open. So here we'll say the data is nothing but an object. We'll split this and override the view over here. Say view that is going to be false. Okay, and also let's copy this and paste over here. Save. So it is going to be false. Oh no, not false, because I'm the one writing the message. So for me it is it is always going to be true, right? So this is true, and fine. So this is true, but the receiver is going to get a false information because we are sending over here. This is a false, and here we'll write now we can see the count, right? So here we'll get a message. Let's uncomment this stuff. So here we'll say msg, that is nothing but the data we have just created, and it has a property view, and this view is going to have a property like false or maybe true. If it is true, means the message is already seen, but if it is false, means not seen yet. If not seen yet, we'll count that. So it is false, we'll make this true, and then we'll get that object, right? And here we'll store that const unseen messages, unseen messages. So this is going to be an array, and I will create, instead of this, I will say here unseen messages, let unseen messages, right, equals to an array. So this is initially it will empty array. If key exists, then we'll count over here, right? And then we'll return the unseen messages length. How many messages are there? Unseen messages dot length, right? Unseen messages dot length. This is what we needed. Save this and check unseen message will be passed within the users component. So here we'll say save, and here we are already calling it, so this is fine. Now let's go to the window and just verify this thing. Reload, also reload this one, create a user. Let's say this one. Let's create one more user. Here it is going to be Anna, and as you can see I'm getting 0 messages, right? We don't need to show this 0 right now, but let's see it's working or not. So I want to send messages to Anna, right? So Rizwan wants to send messages to Anna. We'll say hello, send it, and here you can see we have got a one message, right? So this is working. Here we'll write a condition instead of this, show this message count only when there is the messages. So here we are going to say to write a better stuff, we'll say check unseen messages, and here we'll pass the user. If this is not equal to 0, if this is not equal to 0, then only we will show this span, right? Let's copy and actually cut it from here and paste over here, otherwise it is going to be null. So we actually don't need to do this stuff anymore, right? If it is already 0. So let's go over here and verify the stuff. So this is right now 1, and here it is Anna, right? So we'll send the messages again, see it's working or not. Send the message, and now it's a 2 message, right? But here one more thing, if I will click on that, it is open, right? I have to write a logic to close this, right? To close this window. So we'll go over here and the chat message control window, and here we have to write here is the place where we are displaying the receiver, right? And here we can write that close function. So here we'll write div, and inside the div we'll place an image that is nothing but a close icon, right? We'll say src, and alt is going to be an empty string. Sorry, this is going to be an empty string, and within the src we'll place the close button. So first we need to import that button, right? We'll say import cancel from, and that is going to be from assets / cancel.png, right? And this icons exist over here, so you can see cancel.png. Click on this and you can see over here, so you can see this is a white close button. Let's go to the message control again and place the cancel icon over here. Cancel, right? Let's save this. Also provide the width, that is going to be 10, and alt you can write something like close, and on click we are going to write a function. Let's see it's appearing or not first. So here you can see this is appearing over here and this is very small, right? So for that we are going to write some style property. Say style, that is going to be margin and 0 10 pixel, and cursor is going to be pointer. Save it, and now let's see. So nice, right? If you click on this window will be closed, but right now it will not work, so we have to write that logic. So here we are gonna get that we'll say over here on click or something like on click of the image, on click, that is going to be on. Let's write the function name on chat close. Let's copy this and let's get it from the props. Save. Let's go to the app.js file. This is the like brain or root of our whole application. So here we're gonna write anywhere you can write, right? So on chat close, we are closing the chat, right? Here we'll simply say set step 2. So it will go back to the step 2. That is nothing, that is actually step 1, right? So the one step is the list of the users. Save it, and we have to pass this function to the so here you can see I can see my messages. I have a close button also. Let's see if this close button is working or not. Yes, it is working. Let's go back, try here also. Yeah, it's working, right? So the problem is I have got 2 messages and I have seen my messages. So if I will close my window, this notification should disappear, right? So yes, if I will click on this, then this message should disappear. So I have to write a functionality to update the view, right? So we have this property on the app.js file, right? The view, that is the default is false, and if someone will view the message, then I'll have to make this thing true, right? So the time I have to notice, like when I'm clicking on a user, so I'm clicking means I have opened my window and I have seen my messages. This is one thing, so that I can do. So whenever my receiver will change, means this receiver clicking or selecting some user means your receiver will update, right? So whenever your receiver will change, we can update the view, right? We can update the view from false to true. So we're going to write a use effect over here just to monitor the receiver, right? Let's say callback, write a callback, and here the body of the callback, and second dependency array that is going to monitor the receiver, right? So we'll say receiver. So here we are going to update view count of selected user, right? Selected user, nothing but receiver. So here we'll say receiver, right? So first let's get the messages. How to get the messages? We have to create a key. We'll say sort names, and there we'll say the current user and then receiver. So we'll make the pair and the key will be generated. Now I will check for the safety if key in group message, if key exists in the group message, then we'll update it, right? We'll say group message. Here we'll pass a key, and let's get the key. Here we'll say const messages, right? And this is going to give us an array. Now he'll say dot map. We'll use a map function because it is going to return the same number of values. So we'll use the msg and message, and then here we'll say here we'll write a logic like msg dot view. So we are going to update the view which is not viewed yet, right? So if something is already viewed, then that is going to be true, and we'll simply ignore that. So if that's true, then we'll ignore that, but if that's false, then we are going to update it, right? So if it is false, if someone is not whatever the message not visible, the value is going to be false. We'll make that thing true, and then we'll update that value. So here we're going to say we'll spread the message, and then we'll say view, that is going to be true, and for the other messages, that is going to be as it is. So it's going to be 3 dots. Let's save this stuff, and our messages is ready. Now let's update that. So we'll say we already have that group message, the key that is going to be array, and here it is like messages, right? Save. So this is the messages, and we have updated the view. Now it's time to set that. We'll say set group message, and let's update that group message. Now we are going to separate this logic from use effect and write somewhere else so we can use later in time. We'll say update view, update message view, that is a function, right? And here we'll paste that logic, and we'll call this one update view message. So here we'll call paste, save this thing, and now let's try this thing out. It's working or not, right? So when view, then the message will be true, so we will not see the count of messages. Let's reload. Okay, now let's create a user. We'll say Rizwan, and let's create one more user, and here we're gonna say Anna, right? So I'm going to chat with Anna, so I will say hello and send the message, and you can see Anna got a message from Rizwan, right? We have got a notification over here. Now let's selecting this user means the receiver will change, and receiver will update, and it will update the view count, right? So let's open this, and I have seen my messages. Now let's close this window, right? So this is working fine. So this is one scenario. There is one more scenario. Let me show you. So if I will open the Rizwan window, right? So Anna is actually open the Rizwan chat window, and Anna is expecting a message from Rizwan, right? So here I'm gonna send the message. How are you? So here I'm sending the message to the Anna. Now here, this is the Anna chat window, and Anna got the message, right? How are you? But here I haven't selected any receiver. The receiver is already selected because this is the foreground of that application, right? Now if I will close, so till now there is no update in the receiver. Now if I will close it, and here we're gonna see there is a notification, right? So it should not be here, right? Because I have already seen my messages. It should not be here. It's because of incoming messages. Let me show you how. So here I'm getting my messages. So this is a socket, right? And here I'm getting the message. That's a data, right? Inside the data I have my messages. So as I'm already seeing my messages, so here's the two things I have to notice. Either the window will be in the foreground or it will not be active, right? So it will be active or not active. So I have to see based on the receiver. So what I have to do, and this is a use effect which runs only once, right? So here the receiver will always be an empty string, as I told you right before in the video. That's why I've created a receiver reference, as you can see over here. That's the receiver reference. When I'm updating the state level receiver, there also I'm updating this reference receiver ref count, right? So this is going to be helpful over here. So instead of comparing the if instead of saying like receiver equals to like data dot sender, right? Instead of saying this, because this receiver will always be empty, right? So I will take help from the receiver reference. We'll say receiver reference dot current. So if this is like the user, means the user which is already active mode, right? The chat window is open already, and the data dot sender is getting matched with that user, right? So you're gonna see, let me just comment, and so it will be more clear to you like what I'm trying to do. Console.log, and I will say receiver ref. Instead of this, we'll say receiver ref dot current. Also we'll say data, right? So here's the data, and let's say here rec, that is nothing but the receiver. Save it, and let's try to send the message. Also let's open the chat window. Let's go to the console. Let's open this stuff, clean the browser. Let's send a message from the Rizwan. Alright, let's send the message. Go to the my chat, and you can see there is something like sender. This is the one, right? We just sent. There is something wrong. This is not the one I'm trying to log. Okay, let's come out of this and paste over here. Save. Now let's try the same thing again, and here we're gonna say some stupid message, send. Let's go to the chat window, and here's the oh, I'm not getting the idea, like is it printing or not. Okay, now let's go to here and send the message. Oh, I think I have to reload this thing. Oh, that mistake. Let's create the user again, and let's create the Anna. Right now let's select the Anna and send the message to her. Right, send it. Let's go my chat, and you can see this is the string I've just got. So here you can see the rec is null because I haven't selected any user. So like useref receiver current value is also null, right? If I will select this, now I have got the ref value, right? Receiver value. Now let's give her a message. So send, and let's go over here, and you can see this time the receiver is Rizwan, right? So yes, the receiver is Rizwan, as you can see, and then we have got a data also. So, and here the data is receiver is Anna. So receiver is Anna, right? It's the data from the socket, right? So you will get confused little bit, like why the sender is Rizwan over here, because she got a message from the Rizwan, and she is itself a receiver in this case. So this is an object from this party, right? From this party. Little bit of confusion, just focus on it, you'll get the idea. So here's the receiver, rec is Rizwan, right? So I need to compare with the sender, and okay, so here's the receiver and here's the sender. If these two are equal, then I will update the view count. I will update the notification of the view, right? If these two are equal, then the message is already same, so we'll update that. So here we're gonna say if receiver ref dot current equals to data or sender, we'll say over here, we'll say data means this one, right? This object, data dot view equals to true, right? Equals to true. Let's save this, and now let's try this thing. Okay, so first if I will close this stuff, okay, it looks like it's started working already, reloaded. Let's reload here again. Now let's create a user. Let's create a user here also, and now Anna wants to send message to the Rizwan, so Anna is sending message, right? Send it, and Anna, it's a message from Anna, so I got a notification. Now let's open this. If I will close, the notification will be disappeared, right? This is the first case already working. Now the second case is the window is already active, chat window is active. Now Anna is sending message to me. Let's send the message, and let's go to the chat window. and here's the new message, right? Now let's close this window and see. So there should not be notification, right? If it is there, means something wrong. Close, and yeah, it's working, so it's completely fine. Now let's send a new message, and let's see over here. Yeah, oh, there's a problem. There should be a notification, right? So why is that? Anna Rizwan, the view, there is a view already true, so this is something wrong. Got the messages, right? If sending new message, oh yeah, the problem is again over here. The if you see the ref count, right? If you close this and you see the receiver, right? User reference count, that is Anna, right? So somehow there is a receiver is already in the state. So when I'm closing the window, when I'm closing this chat window, I have to make that receiver null again, right? Because there is no user selected. So I have to make that receiver null again. There is a problem. So where I'm doing the chat close, so here I'm closing the chat. Here we're gonna say set receiver, or if you're gonna, the main thing is the reference count, right? We'll say receiver reference dot current, that is going to be null. Now let's try this thing out. Okay, let's reload this stuff again. Over here, let's create the user, and let's create a user here also, and let's send her a message. So I'm sending message to the Anna. Okay, and as expected, this is working. Now let's open this, close this, working. Now let's open. So this is the active mode, the application is in the foreground. Now let's send the message. Okay, let's send the message, and there is the message, right? Let's close it, and this is fine. No notification, because I have already seen the messages, right? Now let's send the message again. So this time she should get the notification from Rizwan, right? Send, let's go, and yes, finally it is working as expected. So now let's create one more user and try this thing out. And let's create a user, let's say Sana, right? Now 2 users available to chat, so she can chat with Rizwan. We'll say, right, and let's send the message. So Sana sent message to the Rizwan. Let's go to the Rizwan window, let's close this chat window, and a message from Sana, let's open and say hello, and she got a message, Sana got a message. Let's close this window, and it's working fine. This is expected, right? Now the only one thing left from the UI level, so let's close this window, right? Here, if there is a user, let's open this. If I'm selecting a attachment, then I should show the attachment over here, right? So you go to the downloads, and if I'm selecting something to share, I should show something right here, right? So it will, user will get an idea like yeah, attachment got selected. So here's the thing. Okay, let's go to your message control component, and where is our form, right? We want to show just before the form, right? So here we'll simply first we'll wrap this thing within a div. So let's close this, minimize this thing here, and there's a form, right? So we'll simply say div, and let's copy this form, actually cut it from here and paste inside this, right? Save. So here I will say div, and inside this first I will take a image icon. You can find that in the assets folder. So this image.png, so this is like example of an attachment, right? So here you can go and where is that component? So that is message control, and here we're gonna say image, close this, alt, let's keep this is an empty string, and here we're gonna say src. Now we have to import the icon, so we'll say import image from assets / image.png. Let's go back to here, and here we'll say image, right? and also let's have a class over here, so it will apply CSS style. Class name is going to be, so the class is going to be attachment display, and just after the image, let's save this and see how it is looking. So let's go over here, and as you can see, this is coming like this. So this is the CSS style and then image icon. Let's go in and let's write some span tag. We'll say span, and let's close this span tag. Over here we'll say the file name, so we'll simply say media.name, and the important thing is media should exist, right? It should not be null. So here I'm gonna say media should not be null, so simply say not equals to null. If not null, then only we are gonna show this, right? So if user will select, then only we will display the attachment, right? Otherwise it is going to be null. Save this, and then media.name. The next is the close, so we'll simply say span, and then let's have a X cross button or something like that. Let's give it a class, so we'll say class name equals to remove attachment. So this is the class, and here this one required also a class, that is attachment name. Save this, and let's try this thing. Over here media is not defined. Oh there, that's why is that? Yeah, so message control requires a media property, right? We'll say media, and let's pass the media to the message control component from the app.js file. So here we go, and where is our message control component? Here it is, and then we'll say media, that is going to be media. Now let's try this thing over here, and that's everything got reloaded. So let's try, let's recreate, let's say here is one, and why is that? There should not be any user. Let's reload and reload again. Now let's try this, and let's create another user, right? Now let's select that person. Now select an attachment, say over here. Now the attachment is ready over here, so cool. Send, and cannot find module 0.png. Oh, it's generated a number. Actually I've written for the image, right? Okay, let's write something over here, +1, and this is going to be within a function that is going to be parse int. Save this. Let's try this working or not. Let's reload here also. Let's create the user, and let's create a user here also, right? Let's go and let's open that. So looks fine. Select the attachment, and here we're gonna say send, and yes, it is working. So that was the issue. The random number I guess generated 0, and whatever multiplied with 0 will be 0, right? So there was a problem, so we have fixed it. Hopefully if there is a problem you can fix too. So this is working fine, right? And let's see over here, open Rizwan, and Rizwan got a message. Now let's close this, and here it is. Cool, nice. So this is fine. Let's say something, and here the message is coming, and here it is coming too. So now it is a problem. Let's send a message, and you have to scroll, right? So every time when you send a message, the scroll should come down automatically, right? So let's go to the VS Code and write one more function just to control the bottom part. So we'll say go to bottom, and here say empty, and here we'll say const and element. The element is nothing but this one. So if you select this area, you can see in the elements, and this is a message area, right? Within the message area we have a tag that's a UL, so we have to select this UL. We have to say document dot query selector, and let's select the class message hyphen area. Within that we have a UL. Let's say now if element exists, then only we will proceed it, right? Otherwise we're not gonna proceed it. So element exists, then we'll say element, this particular element, we can scroll that stuff, right? So it has some property. Every HTML element has a property like scroll top, bottom, scroll top, scroll height, and something like that. So we'll say dot scroll top equals to element dot whatever the height, we will assign that height to the scroll top, so it is simply going to down, right? We'll say scroll height, right? So scroll height is there. So we have to call this function go to bottom. So we can call it from the send message, like whenever we are sending a message, that time we can call that go to bottom. So if there is more messages, then it will call go to bottom and the scroll will go down, right? But the better place is the use effect, because it is not just for you, it is for both the parties who is talking with each other. And so we have to write the use effect just to monitor the group message. If there is a change in group message, then we are going to call that. So we'll say use effect, and inside that we're going to write a callback, and then we are going to write a dependency array that is going to be a group message. If group message goes larger, then we are going to update. We call that go to bottom, right? Save this stuff. Also, if there is no messages, then we should not need to call this go to bottom, right? We'll simply find out if there is a message or not. So for that, we'll create the sort names, and then we'll say the selected user and then receiver, right? So we'll say receiver. Now we have the key. If key exists in group message, and if the group message, let's say the key dot length, if there is a message greater than 0, then only we are going to call this go to bottom, right? So this is kind of like, we don't need to do unnecessary calls, right? Because that's kind of like hook. It will call whenever there is a change in group message. Okay, save this, and let's go and try this thing. Create a new user. Now let's create another user. Now let's select the user we want to chat, right? Say hello, and here we're gonna say got a message, hi. So these two received the messages. Now let's select attachment just to create in the scroll. So here we're gonna say, and yes, so there is a scroll, right? And it automatically, you can see the scroll is on the downs. I haven't done anything here, but this is working absolutely fine, right? So yeah, this is all about this video. So this is done. Let's try this thing just one-on-one. So you're gonna say, let's close this one, reload, clear this, reload, create a user. We'll say Rizwan, and here we're going to say Anna. So there are two users right now. Let's create one more user. We'll say localhost 3000, and here we can say, let's say Bill. So Bill is another user. So this is Rizwan, and can see I can see Anna and Bill, and this is Anna. Can see this is Bill, can see Rizwan and Anna, right? So here I want to chat with Anna. So we'll say Anna, hi, and a message from Rizwan. Let's open, right? Say hello. Okay, how are you? I'm good. So yes, working fine. Let's send an attachment. Send, and got the messages, right? So this is working nicely. You can also see the network calls, how the socket got connected with each other. So you can go to the network tab, and when we have a connection, we have to reload this actually to see, because this is only one-time connection, right? There is no more connection, so there is no more network calls actually. I can show you. Let's reload this stuff. So this is not just reload over here. So this is the application, and just monitor the network tab, right? So I have selected the network tab, and there is no call yet, right? I want to reload this, and you can see there is one call. You can select this, and you can see this WebSocket URL, This is a WebSocket protocol, right? Localhost 7000 something, and there is a message window, so you can see the message also. This is some message useful, some are not. So this is connected client, right? Now let's create a user. No more connection, you're gonna see no more calls, right? So bill, because the bill is already over here, right? Let's create one more user from here, say Anna, and you can see there is a message. If you select that, you can see the event name is all users. You can open the window and you can see the more detail about that. So that's Anna socket ID and Bill socket ID, right? So this is just broadcasted to everyone. Let's open that. There is one, and here let's open Anna, and I guess these two are right users to chat. Let's clear over here, and let's send this. You can see this is a new message. Let's open this, and you can see there is a new message event, right? So no more network calls. It is working absolutely without any calls, not opposite of completely different from HTTP calls. HTTP are like you are gonna make the request, then you'll get the response, that's it. Again, you will make the HTTP request, you'll get the response, that's it. But in Socket, the connection established once, and after that both the clients will be alive, they can chat with each other, they can play with each other, absolutely fine. So guys, I hope you're gonna love this video. This is kind of important, knowledgeable video, also useful for your skills. You can add a socket in your skills, and it is very easy to learn. And also you can add this to your resume project, and you can find the source code of this project in the description of this video. The most important thing is don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Have a great day. Bye bye.